nephew got signed on, with somebody else. So,
Okay,
yeah.
up there in St. Joe,
Yeah,
which is okay. I get that. But let him know this. Do you need a booklet? Name. Oh, marketing, just put marketing. Okay, 2 people are in. Let's get everybody in. Get everybody going. Good morning, good morning. Anna's here, Celia's here, Olivia's coming on, Connor is coming on Zoom. And here in the room, we have Elena and Jody. So hope we will have more people. We had a really good turnout on Tuesday. And I'm gonna get the PowerPoint up. Tell me some successes you guys have had this week. Tell me what's going on real estate wise. Any conversations, any leads, any things, any systems you got in place for your business? Tell me what's going on.
yesterday I went to the courthouse to get my renewal on my RV on my property. I built my house,
Uh-huh.
and he gave me a bunch of vacant properties that were, that overdue taxes for 4 years. I said, well, can I pay and then it's mine, or do I have to wait for them to, come back and say? He said, no, he goes, it's all yours, once you pay for it.
Because they've already passed the,
That's the time.
well, back taxes.
Tax.
Hi, Jeffrey.
So he gave me a whole list of properties, so I'm gonna check them out and see what they got.
Okay.
I said, is it back taxes that I have to pay?
Yeah.
He goes, no, he's gonna put whatever I want to on it, as long as I make $1, that's a stipulation for the county.
Wow.
He was like,
And what county is St. Joe in?
Buchanan.
Buchanan. Okay. Okay.
So
That's,
you make it for $60.
and if they feel that that.
City lot or 2 lots for $60. There you go.
Okay. Okay.
What are you gonna do with it? We have a.
I'll probably flip it, a lot of them, but.
You've got to see what the properties look like and everything. I love that.
Building is.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. I love that. Okay. Because if you all remember, some of you might not be aware that Jody's focus in getting into real estate was investing and working with investors. And so that's him looking at opportunities for him. I love it. Okay. I'm going to bring up the PowerPoint so those of you at home can sign in for class. We already did here. It's important that you do scan the QR code. There's also a bit.ly link. It's important because that's how we know if you're attending classes. I mean, I see you, but I can't guarantee I'm going to remember what classes you came to, right? And you're not either. I'm going to be honest. You're probably, hi Wyatt, good morning. You're probably not going to remember either. And so that's why we want to see, because here's what, and I kind of talked about it on Tuesday, is we as coaches can pretty much predict who's on the track to success. And that is the people who are doing the work, doing the training, putting in the time and the effort. And here's the beauty of real estate. If you haven't realized it yet, you don't have to spend a lot of money on real estate to do it. Now, that means no money's coming in during that time. So that's what makes it hard. Let me share this with and why are we not going there? Come on, come on. Let me try the casting again. But it really, really takes time and effort. And I want to dissuade you from thinking that there are shortcuts to the success. Jody's laughing. There is not. Okay, I've got to stop this and try again. And sometimes people think buying leads is a shortcut. And while it has worked for some agents, like Tracy Jacobs, he's an agent here. His office is right over there. But he had another job at the time he was starting real estate, so he could afford to buy some leads, and that's what helped him get started. And he was good at following up with them. What I will tell you is most of you as new agents do not have the converting skills or the systems in place to spend that money and get results. I'm just going to be real with you. It's not that they're not valid and worthwhile, but it can be. I've seen even experienced agents waste thousands of dollars on leads, thousands, because they didn't have a system and they didn't perfect their converting conversations. Does that make sense? Okay, let me, for Zoom people, I am going to share screen. I'm not fibbing. I am.
I see the thing you put out on preview leads for the lead thing.
Yeah, because I forgot who was asking. I think it was Amber was asking about leads and the referral leads. Now, there are some companies you don't pay them until you close. And all of them have potential. I will tell you, I speak from experience because we in the office have wanted to buy leads and I even had a pilot program, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, that David helped me with of buying leads for significant money monthly. And I had a pilot program of 10 agents, half new and half experienced, working those leads. After 1 year, we had one closing. Well, I learned most of those agents really weren't following up the way they needed to. They thought they were looking for easy lead. And they're usually not easy leads. You got to work them. It's not like you can get lucky and somebody just magically says, yeah, I want to work with you and let's go after one conversation, but that's not the norm. And so the work that needs to be put in, most people are like, oh, that's not what, oh, you mean they might not be ready for 6 months, 9 months, or a year, and I got to stick with them? Yeah. So just know if you're ever tempted, I met with Wyatt yesterday and we were talking. I said, what you don't know is when you're new, for those of you who are really new, you are now very popular. Meaning you've got marketing companies that are coming your way. If they haven't started, they're going to start. You'll have lead companies who want to sell you leads coming your way. Other brokerages will now start knocking at your door. Probably not until you start having transactions, because they're not going to spend, I'm going to tell you, they're not going to spend time on you and give you attention until you start doing business.
Not contacted by somebody for maintenance.
Yeah, because you were newly licensed and they wanted to see if you'd made a decision. So yeah, Jeffrey, you're already experiencing it. So know that while it feels nice to have the attention, know that they're after you. And you will become exceedingly popular and most of them want to get in your pocket. And I've had new agents spend thousands of dollars on things that they shouldn't have. So if you are tempted, if they kind of get your interest, good morning, Jamian, then I want you to talk to me or to your coach or any of the coaches. Before you make a commitment and sign a contract and start sending money for marketing or for leads, please talk to us. Because most of us have experience or know agents that have done it. And again, I'm not trying to tell you it's not a good idea. It's just, you better know what you're doing before you spend that money or you're going to waste your money. You're going to waste it big time. And it hurts my heart to see people spend thousands of dollars on publications and magazines and all these things. They look pretty, but you're just hoping somebody comes to you after spending thousands of dollars. that's why we're going to continue our conversation about marketing today. Remember, you talked about prospecting. Prospecting is number one. Don't think you get out of it. I'll be honest, when I first started teaching new agents, I kind of, I didn't go hardcore on lead gen. I mean, I went over everything, but I went softly into it. And I thought, oh no, you can't go soft into lead gen because it is your job. And if we sugarcoat it, or if we don't stress the importance of it, then you're gonna think it's something you don't have to do. You can think it's something you can put off. Do you know how many agents put off lead gen? Ask even the experienced agents. You know, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I can't say that we all love it. Some of you will love it more than others, but it is what you have to do. Here's what Gary Keller, I've heard him say, is he did not love lead gen. He had to learn to accept that it was part of his job. So have you ever had a job that you didn't love everything you had to do? Yeah, we all have, right? We all have. But you had to do it, right? And you had to do it because you had a boss. Now, here's my question to you. What kind of boss are you going to be for you? Are you going to make sure you do the lead gen, or are you going to give yourself a pass? And then every day you give yourself a pass, you put off the time that you're going to make money. Every day you do that, you're probably going to start to feel really guilty and beat on yourself. Why is it that we're so lenient on ourselves, but then we whip ourselves with guilt? So don't do that. It's okay to take some time off. It's okay to take a break. You can burn out. Burnout is really high in real estate. Can you understand why? Because you're a self-generating machine. We're not really built to be machines. So you have to be careful. Okay. Any ahas or questions on marketing from what we discussed on Tuesday? Anybody on Zoom? Anybody have any questions or anything?
I mean, the difference prospecting and marketing. Like prospecting something I have to do, I have to go to.
You go
Like,
proactively.
It's outreach.
Yes, it's outreach, you going and having conversations or connections with people. In my book, Elena, connections are, because of the different ways we can communicate with people, it's belly to belly, it's phone, it's text, it's email, it's direct message, anything that you have a conversation back and forth. Marketing is something you put out there and hope somebody responds and comes back to you. Yeah, but as we talked and started to talk about on Tuesday, is marketing can warm up your next step of reaching out to someone. I like the warm up. Like when I did farming, I wanted to have the warm up that I'd already sent something to them. Now, can I tell you how many people don't see the mail? Or if I put it on their door, how many people don't go in and out their front door? And can I tell you that usually in every household, there is someone who is the mail police. I'm that at my house. There are things my husband will never see, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I see some nodding heads. Yeah, right. There's some things he'll never see because I've already scanned the mail and thrown out the junk, right? And so I actually learned this in politics. What a lot of you don't know is when I was in law school, I did something crazy my last semester. I ran for political office. And so I knocked on doors. I knocked on over 4,000 doors, prepared me beautifully for real estate. And I learned how to be efficient. I had a system. I had a list of all the addresses and names of the doors that I knocked on because I bought those lists in advance. I took notes after every house that I left. I had a card to leave them. It was like a postcard that I left. And then when I got home every night, then I had a postcard. I had 2 postcards. And it looked like it was in my handwriting. It was not, but it was printed to look like in blue ink, like my handwriting. And I had one that said, "It was so nice to meet you." And the other said, "I'm sorry I missed you." And because I took notes on every door that I knocked, I would also add a little note, like if I met their dog, "It was so great to meet Rover. What a cute dog you have." Or, "Your flowers are amazing. Your landscaping is gorgeous." I always try to personalize it if I could. So that is because I sent something out in advance before I started knocking those doors. I thought everybody would recognize me or know me and, or, have a clue. And that's how I learned not everybody sees what you leave on a door or what you put in a mailbox. And people go, "We never got anything." And I'd be like, "Yes, you did." Or sometimes when I was doing it on the doors, because for you all, that's the most affordable way, is to leave door hangers or something like that. I'd find it in the bushes as I did my next door knock. I'd be like, "Oh, it blew off. It's down there." I'd be like, "Oh, okay." I try to fish it out, pick up my trash, and that type of thing. Does that help you understand marketing? Marketing is like the enhancer or kind of the introduction, especially when you're doing farming or something like that. Does everybody know what farming means in real estate? No, that's fine. I don't expect you all to know all these, and we will have a class on this. It's part of the Legion 3612-3 course. Farming is usually geographic farming, taking a subdivision or part of a subdivision and marketing and touching them to become the agent of choice. It is the way I describe Legion activities is this. There are some that are sprint activities, and then there are some that are marathon activities. And I'll be honest, I believe you need a mixture of both to build a solid business. Farming is a marathon activity because you have to get presence, I, as an agent, would mail to a subdivision. I was at the point of mailing 1,000 a month, which is expensive. And in the beginning, I did all of those mailings myself. Once a month, I would be on my living room floor with mail trays to do bulk mailing. You have to sort them by zip code and trays and what have you. Then I towed all of those trays to the post office and send them off. The day that I could afford to have someone else do that was a day of joy. So I'm not saying I started off mailing 1,000. I did not. When I was new, I was probably just doing mailings of about 50 to certain people in my database. So you build up to those marketing, because does anybody have a marketing budget right now? Most likely you don't. And I know that. There are very few of you that come into this business with a marketing budget. I get it. You spent your money getting licensed and joining the organizations, KCRAR and MLS and Supra, and then all your licensing requirements. That took a chunk of change. So most of us come in this business with no marketing budget. However, like I said on Tuesday, you guys are blessed that you have social media because it's free. I mean, yes, you can pay for ads, but it's free. Okay, let's remember the student guide for this class. Does everybody in the room have theirs? Yeah, the student guide that I passed out on Tuesday.
Oh,
Yeah, on Tuesday, it's the same, yes.
It's the same? Yeah. Yep, that's it. Yep. And then those of you who are on Zoom, it is loaded on the Facebook page. Remember, I had the expectation that you read that. I have the expectation that you now read them. I will get next week's out by tomorrow. I have the expectation that you read these materials beforehand. That's how we'll have better and deeper conversations instead of me lecturing the whole time to you all. I prefer the interaction of you having some idea and then it caught provoking questions or insights. That makes it more meaningful. So let's get to where we stopped. Let me get the. Okay, let me minimize this screen. Okay. Let's talk about myths that hold agents back when it comes to marketing. Myth, oh, no, you're not supposed to do that. I love this this is an AI program I use to create PowerPoints now or presentations or slides or whatever you want to call. I love it. It's called Gamma, but it moving from slide to slide is a little, it's not as smooth as my PowerPoint when I can just go page down. So choosing marketing or prospecting. I've kind of already covered this. It's not an either or. They're both important, but which one is more important? Prospecting. Truth is, successful lead generation requires both marketing and prospecting working together. Myth, marketing is only for appointments. Yes. What is your ultimate goal? Closing deals, is it not? But in order to close deals, what do you have to have first? Appointments. Without appointments, matter of fact, David Conderman will be doing his business planning clinics. You're going to see me posting and emailing you all about the upcoming business planning clinics a lot. It's critical. You have to come to one of those. The one that he has focusing on new agents is Saturday, October, I think that's the 11th. Now, you can come to any of them. He'll have one on the 9th, the 11th, and the 16th. So I'll be posting all the times and what have you. If you come on that Saturday, he'll focus because everybody's needs are different. New agents' needs and considerations and goal setting is different than an experienced agent or someone on a team. But don't feel like you can't come to the others if you can't come on that Saturday. But if you can come on Saturday, the 11th, it'll be from 9 to noon, be here. This is one of the most important things you're going to do to give you foundation of your new business. Because without goals, you don't know where you're going. And when you're new, how do you create goals when you've never done this before, right? You need insight. We give you starter goals. So let me just ask you, is anybody willing to share? How much would you like to make in your first year?
60,000.
60,000. Anybody else? How much would you like to make in your first year?
Literally, if I make one sale, I'll consider this venture a success.
That is valid.
120.
Very valid. I'll tell you what I hear the most. I want to make 100,000 my first year. And I'll say, that's amazing and awesome. And I love big goals. Now, what the business plan will show you is how much work it would take to get there. And then you're probably going to go, oh, I got to talk to that many people, because the magic of this business plan is it's going to tell you how many people you need to talk to every week and every month to get enough appointments to hit that goal you said you want to make. I wish when I was a new agent or an agent period, I'd had something like this. I literally would just say, my broker would say, what do you want to do next year? I'd say, here's what I want to do. He'd go, great, go do that. I'd be like,
Wow.
and I started hitting a ceiling of what I made every year because I didn't know how to get past that. I think I'm working 12, 14-hour days sometimes when I'm crazy busy. There are not more hours to the day for me as a human. So how do I get better? I didn't know that I could quantify like how many appointments I need to make that my major focus to get to the goal that I want to get. And here's the beauty of it for you all is if you're not getting the appointments, then usually we as coaches know that's a conversion issue, meaning you're not sure the conversations to have with people, right? And we can show you how to get better at that. Does that make sense? So those appointments are critical and you've got to know how many appointments do I need to be looking for to get every month? And if I'm not getting them, what do I need to do? And like I mentioned before, for a lot of you, the lead gen activity you do in the beginning is kind of, I'll use an analogy. It'll be like, because your knowledge is only this thick so far, and that's okay. I get that. You'll be snorkeling. And so you may not get immediate success in your lead gen until you start scuba diving. So you'll learn the basics, but then you've got to learn how to get better at those things. And that means trial and error, sometimes trying different conversations and seeing what motivates and gets people to respond. And here's the catch. Not the same phrases work with everyone. So you got to have a repertoire of conversations or scripts. We're now told we're supposed to say conversations. There's nothing wrong with scripts. It's not a dirty word. It has some connotations that people don't like, but it's just knowing what to say to answer different questions and objections. And I will tell you, every successful, experienced agent has scripts. And if you hang around me long enough, Jody, you've heard my scripts. You know, you can go on a topic and it just comes out. It didn't come out on day one or day two. This is me practicing those. And I was a script snob when I started, meaning I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. That doesn't sound like me. I don't want to be that kind of, I don't want to be salesy. Well, that snobbery got slapped in my face when I went on an early listing appointment with a lead and they started asking hard questions that I was not prepared for because I didn't learn any of those scripts. And then I left that appointment feeling really stupid. And I don't know about you, but I don't like that feeling. And I swore to myself, it made me mad at myself, mad enough that I said, that won't happen again. I am not putting myself in the position of that happening again. I'm going to learn how to handle that situation. That's when I mean from the snorkeling to scuba diving, those are the things, skills you're going to be building. That's why never stop learning in this business. That's how you and your business will grow. Another myth is any marketing builds mind share. No, only consistent, systematic marketing over time creates mind share needed to dominate your market. That's why farming, you have to have repetitive communications with a neighborhood in order to have any impact. The same with your database. Okay, this is where you start in building this business is your phone. All those people in there. I don't care if they live here or not. You've got to tell everyone that you're an agent, and then you've got to tell them how you can help them. So if they don't live in Kansas City, you need to educate them and say, did you know? I know it sounds a little crazy that I live in Kansas City now. But did you know I can help you find a good agent no matter where you live? And because you're my friend or my family, I want you to have a good agent, not just an agent. And referral fees are lovely. Some of the best and easiest money you can make. And for some of you, it'll be the first commission check you make. So do not underestimate the power of out-of-state referrals. They are lovely. Matter of fact, one rookie of the year, it was before COVID, and he had he had like around 21 referrals his first year. He made over $40,000 in referral fees, along with closing. He said, I like this better than working with buyers and sellers. But he's a big thinker and he built a big business. So he didn't just but he continued to build that referral business. And there are agents out there in Keller Williams, especially if you listen to Pivot Shift Ahead every weekday morning at 7, James Shaw and that community. And you're going to hear about some agents who literally a huge piece of their business is referral business. And that community shares referrals all the time. Tracy Jacobs is part of that. Duke Fry is part of that. Amy Kennedy is part of that community and participates at a high level. There's more. And they have gotten referrals from out-of-state agents because they got to know them through this community. So don't underestimate the different ways you can make money. And marketing, that's why I talked about your announcement. A one announcement is not a one and done. You scratch the surface. How many touches does it take? Or how many exposures did I tell you on Tuesday it took in market theory before somebody recognizes a product, a name, or how many?
7.
7. Good job, Jeffrey. 7. So one of the things we do in real estate, in our marketing, it's repetitive. Now you got to find different angles and different ways of communicating and different messaging. And that's the thing, is finding the messaging that works and who are you targeting. And because you've got to change mindset. Remember what I said, you're here and real estate's here in the minds of everybody who knows you. It's your job to get it here. And that doesn't happen in one touch. I don't think I shared the story of one of our new agents. She came to me and she said, okay, I hate to admit it, but you're right. I said, about what? She said, you said not everybody's going to remember I'm an agent. I did my announcement, but one of my very good friends called me yesterday and said, did I know an agent? And she said, yes, I do. And she said, but it was my fault that she didn't remember that I was an agent because you had not solidified that in her brain. Okay. So don't spend the time and effort on marketing and think that one piece, that's like with the investment seminar. It's repetitive messaging. You guys are, I don't know, you're all farmers and gardeners now that you're agents. You have to plant a lot of seeds. And different seeds grow and germinate at different time frames. Some pop out of the ground really fast. How long does it take for bamboo to come out of the ground? Does anybody know? I find this fascinating. Anybody know?
8 years.
Ooh, you're both right in between.
5.
5. But it's one of the fastest growing ones that gets above ground. Isn't that crazy? It's underground for 5 years before it pops. Well, there are people in your database or leads that you're going to get that may come back in 5 years if you stay in touch with them. Most agents drop them and they ignore them because they weren't now. Yes, I get it. We all want now business, but it's not going to all be now business. And if you don't nurture And that's what your marketing helps do, nurture people in your world, to keep them in your world. You have a bubble of people. You don't want them roaming beyond your bubble, but they will if you don't stay in relationship. So remember, we talked about defining your unique brand. So your brand is what makes you memorable and credible to clients and prospects. I was talking about you Tuesday. And your skydiving marketing piece. That was so fabulous. When are you going to do another one like that?
Example, this-
Picture on
Do you have any video of it?
it. Yeah.
You might do a reel.
Videos.
You might do a reel.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Okay,
Yeah,
throw that out there.
yeah. No, don't throw it out there. Be purposeful.
Okay.
Be purposeful with it. We want you to be authentic. What's real to you? So that's what's going to help them remember you. It's a systematic expression of your professional identity. How do you want to be known? How do you want to be seen? I used to do a kind of a personality marketing thing. I should probably go back and see if it's still available because it was free. That you would take and it would tell you, are you seen as a champion? Are you seen as the person next door? Are you seen as the helper? That helped you understand really who you are. And most of you know it, but we don't always, we may know it internally, but we don't really know that's how people see us or how we don't articulate it. And unfortunately, when you're in real estate, you've got to articulate what you're about. You've got to show your value. You can't just hope people like you. And that's where marketing will help define you. And you all have something to bring. And what would that be? I think of Wyatt. Wyatt, you've trained people to get healthy. You can train people how to successfully buy and sell a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's how I would market your business. Is I'm your real estate coach. And
Yeah.
I've got a winning system to help you successfully buy and sell a home.
Like,
Yeah. Because take what he's already done successfully and take that forward. And people already know you as a coach. And so he's not having to change their mindset drastically. He's just twisting it a little, just turning it. So think of those things. I spoke on Tuesday, Jeffrey, you're a teacher. I can take you through the learning process successfully to buy or sell a home. All of you have something unique. Don't feel like it has to be so different that nobody else is like you. That's not probably true. We're all very unique, but we all have similarities, right? But find what's authentic and special about you, and that's what's unique about you. So don't feel like it's something that nobody has. According to NAR statistics, 36% of sellers choose their agent on their reputation. This means your brand directly impacts your ability to attract and convert leads into clients. So that image that you create with your marketing is what draws people. And if you're not sure what to do, then talk to us. I'm really good when it comes to marketing ideas. That's kind of something that I loved about being an agent, is creating my marketing materials. I loved it. Oh, stop that. Okay. Hold on. My mouse goes one way, then clouds the screen. Go away. There we go. Building your brand identity. And you did some of this with Megan on your unique value proposition. If you didn't finish it, you better finish it. Analyze your style, create your brand statement. Your brand statement is basically a sentence or two of what the experience would be working with you. It's your elevator speech. Yes, do it. I use AI a lot. I use it as a starting point. Sometimes if I get stuck, I don't always like what it generates. Matter of fact, I don't use Chat GPT because I found that we argued too much, or I argued too much. They're like, no, that's not what I asked for. And I do another prompt and they do something totally. I said, for it. I use Gemini, Google Gemini. I sometimes use Chat GPT, but there's a lot of different ones. And I found that we speak closer to the same language. Gemini and I do. The chat and we were having some, yeah, I'd get all angry and frustrated. Marketing your brand versus marketing your listings. Okay, brand marketing. Primary goal is to attract sellers. Focus on your reputation and services. And you're going to say, but I'm new. I don't really have a reputation yet. You have strengths that you have brought to this table of real estate. Speak to those. They are valid here. What you have been good at in the past. You know, you helped people with life and death situations in medical. Yeah. Your calmness, your ability to work through all kinds of circumstances, that's what you're going to bring to real estate. Methods, community involvement, social media presence, content marketing, networking events, newsletter campaigns. I want all of you on the Office 36 Touch email program. If you're not on, first you have to get your contacts in command. That should be your priority. Now, do it, do it, do it, do it. If you don't have them in, we can help you with that because there's easy ways to import. And then get them on there. Don't overthink this. If you overthink it, you will put no one on that 36 Touch. And that, again, you're just extending you seeing any money. You got to get people on the 36 Touch. It means, here's what that means. 3 touches a month per person. What's that feel like? Does that sound like too little? Too much? Too what? What's that feel like to you guys? Too little. Wow, good. Anybody else? Anybody? A lot of people think it's too much. Oh my gosh, 36 touches. I'll be annoying. Remember what I said on Tuesday? How many of you look at your email right now? Look at your personal email. How many do you have? Yeah. So what's going on? You get a lot of emails, but you've got to also communicate in other ways. But what you need as a solo practitioner, you need some automated marketing. I call that your insurance. Here's what happens. Wyatt, you're going to get busy. Yes. You're going to have a couple of transactions going on. You're going to be pulling your hair. You're going to be like, I haven't done any lead generation in the last 2.5 weeks because I've been showing buyers, I've been writing contracts, I've been attending inspections. And then maybe 3 weeks go by, maybe 4 weeks, because usually to close a house, the transaction, once you go into contracts, that's 30 to 45 days that you're immersed, especially when you're new and everything's new. It takes more time for you to do all of that. You're not efficient at it yet. I get why you get off focus. That's why you need an automated piece of marketing so it doesn't look like the virtual doors of your business have been closed. That's why when you don't keep up with your marketing in front of people, especially these people, you know, the people in here, they know you. And most of them hope nothing but the best for you, but they're waiting for you to show them that you're really an agent. It's true. Some will jump on the bandwagon tomorrow and say, hey, I want you to help me. Others will be like, I really like Jody, but let's just see how this goes. Let's be honest. That's human nature. So we have to prove it to them. And when our marketing and our messaging stops, then they're like, oh, guess he didn't make it. Guess he's not still in the business. You gotta be showing them. That's why day in the life, little reels and videos are so fun, especially when you're new, talking about the adventure you're going on. Listing marketings are different. That's to attract buyers. Now, also sellers sometimes. But the focus is your inventory, and most of you are not gonna have many of you won't have listings right off the bat. Usually as a new agent, you will service more buyers in the beginning. Hey, but if you do get more sellers, more power to you, because in this business, that's your end game. Your end game is to always have more sellers, because we can handle more listings at one time than we can buyers. Buyers are time intensive. They're lovely and they can be very fun and it can be very rewarding, but they are time intensive. So you want more of a balance of that. But be okay if in your first year, you're a little buyer heavy. That's not abnormal at all. It's not. But when you have those listings, you're doing different kind of marketing. Does that make sense? You're going to do MLS. You're going to do social media, open houses, virtual tours. You might do targeted online ads. Any questions? Okay. Yes.
Yeah, the 36 touch program that we have here at Keller Williams, is it like when we put a contact in for a system, like can we coordinate it, so say if we get a contact, and do we just throw them into the system and then they generate like whatever they're in it, or do we have to have it, all of our contacts in at one point and then put it all on this?
Great question. That's a great question. Can I hold that question until I get more in depth on 36 touch? Okay. Remind me when I get there, because I'm going to go a little deeper on it. Okay. But that's a great question. Oh, stop it. I almost feel like I should turn off my mouse. So here are different ways you can market. Direct mail. What's the downsides of direct mail? It's expensive. Right now, it's pretty expensive. Digital marketing. You all have a website. If you haven't been attending Brett's tech classes, or you're so new you haven't been able to, you need to do your marketing profile in Command. Does everybody have a professional photo, headshot? No selfies. No, seriously. Some agents have actually used AI successfully. Some of them make you look like someone else, and some of them do a pretty good job. And it's pretty affordable. We used to have a photographer come in every month. It's hard to give them enough business that they would continue to do that. But I see Serena coming in, yay. But you need a professional headshot. I know it feels weird because most of us don't come from businesses in which we put our faces on everything. And you don't have to put it on everything. I am not a proponent about putting your face on a yard sign, especially if you're a woman. Here's why: it's not safe. It's not. I created a logo, and for women, we change our hair all the time. You men don't seem to do it as often. Some do.
All the time.
So, and doing and I wouldn't do custom signs right off the bat, guys. I never did custom signs. I spent my marketing dollars differently. It'll be up to you, but don't feel like you have to go get custom signs right away. We sell generic office signs here, and then you just get a name and phone writer to put at the top. But I don't recommend your picture on it, or you wait too long to get your picture taken and you will not look like your picture. because nobody likes to go have their picture taken. We don't. It's a hassle. Social media marketing, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and targeted advertising and organic reach. Video content performs exceptionally well. That's why I want you to use, you get more bang for your buck with videos. You get more eyes. It gets more attention. And then traditional media, yard signs, billboards. I wouldn't do billboards. They're expensive. Radio, expensive. Print advertising, expensive. I would exhaust all the other things before I would go to those things. Seriously, unless you just have that pot of money for marketing. Now, as you grow your business and you start making money, then you are going to want to allocate dollars towards marketing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying in the beginning, let's be creative and use the great avenues that you have for marketing that are not going to cost you a lot of money. And just remember Kristen saying how lucky you are. I would say, as an agent, we were spending, before all the digital options on social media, we were spending such a much higher percentage of dollars on marketing coming out of our pockets. So our profit margins were lower because of how much we had to spend on marketing. When you start making money, you'll get to decide how much. Actually, in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that I recommend all of you buying, you can get a used one on Amazon or at like some of the half price bookstore, what have you. They tell you what percent of your business budget should go towards marketing, right? Social media marketing. How many of you are social media savvy and active on social media?
Sadly.
What is active exactly mean?
You're on every day.
Oh, okay, but are you posting? all
Yeah,
that?
you're active. You're not a stalker. You're actively engaged with people on social media.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm not seeing any. What about those of you on, I can't even see where are my peoples? On Zoom. Raise your hand if you're active on social media.
I think I'm pretty active.
Actively
and
participating and communicating with people.
I try.
Okay. Okay. Okay, here's me being real. Not that I'm not usually real. Social media may not be the avenue for some of you. However, if you can embrace it and use it, it can be a wonderful tool. But I don't want you to force it, because if you are not comfortable doing it, if you won't do it consistently, it will mean nothing. So you can't go hot and cold on it. Remember what I said Tuesday? I have some agents who say, you like my stuff, my posts more than my mother does. I am super active on social media. I am. It helped. I engage. That's how I keep tabs, especially with people that I don't see every day. It's how, yeah. So you've got to find, if you're going to go into social media, or if you're already active on social media, you have to narrow it down. Don't try to be on everything, because you won't be effective. Find one or two avenues that you really like and you feel are worth your time to do, because they're agents, like I shared on Tuesday, there are agents who have built their business almost solely on social media. Franny Knight, Urban Cool KC, go to her Facebook page, Urban Cool KC. She is the pioneer of real estate agents in Kansas City of using social media at a high level to grow a business. And she'll tell you, she did everything wrong in the beginning. One of the things you all should be doing to start showing and getting people to think of you in real estate is, did you know you can promote other people's listings on social media with their permission? And you must list that it is their listing in their company. If you go on onto Franny Knight's Facebook page, you'll see how it's done correctly. But she always above has a link to her website in that listing. So they will view the pictures, the additional pictures, by going into her website, even though she's giving recognition to the listing agent and their brokerage. One of the easiest things you can do. Now, not all agents get back to you. Know that some will say no, absolutely not. Most will say yes. Please, the more people seeing my listing, the better. Right? So it is an amazing way, and that is how Franny built her business, by going into MLS every single day and finding the coolest urban listings. And people would go to her site and go, oh my gosh, they didn't have to scroll through the hundreds of houses on Zillow or what have you to find amazing houses. She already was putting it in front of them. She posted a couple this week that, oh God, there were, I think one was a Union Hill, really, really cool brick house. I had another agent do mid-century moderns. There are not as many as in Kansas City. Did you know that there is a pocket of them very close to this office? You go up here to 95th Street. Before you get to Lee Boulevard, I believe it's, I want to say it's like Belender, turn south and you go down there and there's a huge cul-de-sac of like 15 to 20 mid-century moderns that are amazing. They put them on a house tour years ago. I didn't know they were there, and I grew up in this neighborhood. I thought I knew where all the mid-century moderns were. I did not. It was so cool. So there are ways that you can get attention and use this. But like I said, figure out what you're going to do and learn as much about that platform as possible, because they all have a different feel. They all have a different type of audience. Like Facebook, how would you describe Facebook? What is the feel of if you had to describe it, what would you say the feel or the vibe of Facebook is?
30 to 50 years. Age.
Okay, yeah,
It's like more of the demographic,
yeah,
rather than Instagram or TikTok. There's probably more like 20 to 28.
yeah. And even dialing it down a little bit more, Facebook's a little bit more casual. I think of it as a family barbecue. Your pictures don't have to be great. They don't have to be, but Instagram is visual. It is a visual experience. And so you can't have crappy pictures. You shouldn't.
You can also tell, like, in the comment section of Facebook posts, they're a lot more kind and less judgmental.
Unfortunately.
Then if you get on
The other-
Instagram, everyone's arguing with each other. So,
Unless you're public, my account is private, so.
Yeah, you're in friendly territory. And it depends on what you're posting.
yeah, no,
But yes, I mean, I'm in some Facebook groups that somebody was ripping somebody. It was about table settings. And somebody's like, that's so ugly. I'm like, I'd be so mean.
yeah.
We're just talking about plates and napkins and the lady likes them. So what? You didn't like her pink? Well, don't put that on your table. And then LinkedIn, much more formal business, professional. Here's what's interesting about LinkedIn. It's had a renewal, a resurgence. People my daughter's age are on LinkedIn and looking at jobs and positions, and they are very active on there. It was dying from my perspective. No, the younger people, Ilana, are on there like nobody's business. It's very important. They all are doing their profiles and their resumes and all of that and keeping that updated. Because like my daughter, she's 28, she's getting people reaching out, headhunters, on LinkedIn. Instagram, I was on it before my daughter. I have to remind her about that. When she thinks her mom is not, so I said, I am more social media savvy than you, my darling daughter. TikTok, whole different world. People create businesses by using TikTok. YouTube is what, Kyle Talbot, our agent here in our Waldo office, has built his entire business on YouTube and Instagram. Moving to KC, he built it to, I don't even know what he has now. He had it at like 80, 90,000. He built this business in about 3 years.
Wait,
KC Scene.
he's at this office?
Yes, he is. He's big. He's big stuff.
I follow him on Instagram.
Of course you do. See? See? I get a little bit of a kick when I see other agents posting his stuff they don't know. I'm like, did you know you're posting another agent's stuff? I mean, he has some good Kansas City stuff and what have you. So he's got actually 2 now Instagram accounts. One solely focused on Kansas City, another Kansas City and homes, moving to KC. He has built a successful business and now has a very successful team in less than 3 years just on that strategy of YouTube. And he learned it. There is a Facebook page with Ken Pozak. If you're interested in that, and let me, I can't remember the name. It's like content, Ken Pozak. Ken Pozak, let me find it. The Content Lab with Ken Pozak. Follow that Facebook page. That's everything that Kyle learned. He learned from Ken. And he's active on that Facebook page also. Kyle is. And he sometimes is a guest speaker on, he's been at our national convention speaking, Kyle has. I mean, he's big stuff. And he's done this in 3 years. Amazing. So again, I go back to saying to you all, social media works and can work really well if you work it. So I don't want to be under the illusion that it's the magic. You have to work the magic. Does that make sense? Any questions about social media marketing? Like at 11 o'clock, Katie Hallway is going to be doing a class on SEO and blogging. She is very savvy about social media, but she has taught herself. She's taken numerous classes and courses to educate herself to understand how this works. No questions? Any observations? Any curiosities?
For Facebook or Instagram, would you recommend just using my personal page, or do I need to create a page separate, attached to my profile, that would be purely devoted to just business?
Here's the thing. It's a little tricky. You should have a business page on Facebook. It's built off of your personal page, okay? Because when you do hardcore real estate advertising, like a listing or an open house or what have you, you have to have the brokerage name on everything. And if it's not on everything, because every time you're doing hardcore real estate, the state commission deems that as advertising. And remember, from licensed law school, you have to mention your brokerage in all of your advertising. So no matter what it is, you've got to make sure you're doing that. If it's the day in the life, you know, I hear I'm knocking doors for my open house coming this weekend, but here's the catch. Here's what's hard is you need to post it on your business page and then share it to your personal page. And building a business page audience is hard. That's why you've got to be sharing it onto your personal. But remember this, here's where a lot of agents fail. They use their personal page, and really in the world of social media, only 20% of your personal page should be about business. 80% should be about life and whatever. And if you turn that into, because it's about being social, not being salesy. It's called social media, not sales media. Even though you can be successful, it can enhance and help your sales. But that's where people get it wrong. And I've seen them do it on Instagram too, where they're just being salesy on Instagram. That doesn't work. That's not impactful. Doing your sales, you're just listed, just sold on Instagram instead of telling a story or having a little reel with those people you just closed with. There's a difference in how you present the material. Make sense? You gotta know the audience. You gotta know the vibe of the medium before you go in there and start posting stuff. So observe and learn and be curious. And there's a lot of ways you can learn about it. AI will help you. You know, you've got to be aware of algorithms and the social media platforms change all the time. They're always tweaking stuff. And just when you think you have it figured out, the formula figure out, they mess with it. And then you'll see everybody going, oh, did you hear what Instagram just did? And you got to do this and you got to do that. And if you want to get up in the algorithm, then you got to do that. So sometimes you think you got it and then they switch it. So however, it can take a lot of time. Like Kyle will tell you, he has to record or video content every week. And he finally had to get to the point that he had to hire somebody to edit his videos because of the time that it takes to do that. I know just for my silly little vacation reels that I do, I edit all of my pictures and then I put that together, and I can't tell you how many times I put a reel together and I don't like the way it flows, and then I take it apart and I put it together, and I'm just doing little personal vacation reels, mostly for me. So that when I'm really old and can't remember diddly squat, I can look at that and go, I did that. Here's some strategies, and this is something I touched on. If you're doing 80% valuable educational, this is on your business. Remember, if you're working off your personal page, you got to be careful about just going business. But content mix, follow the 80-20 rule, 80% valuable educational content, 20% promotional. And always, you've got to have some call to action in these pieces. You want them to have a reason. They have a question, or you're going to give them something, or you're going to provide something. You can't just be educational and not ask something of them. Consistency. If you don't have a content calendar of what you're going to do every month and you're just winging it, you're probably not getting traction. You're just not. Let's be real. I actually provide a social media contact calendar. There's actually this year's is still posted on the launch Facebook page under files. So you can see. It just gives you ideas of what you could post every day. I'm not saying post every day because most of you won't, unless you make this your one thing. But it gives you enough ideas to choose from.
Is it my business or personal account that you're saying?
I
should be
know
good?
that several agents have been doing short little videos with Bob, our mortgage lender with Loans in KC. Everybody know we have an in-house lender? Does everybody know we own that mortgage company? Did you know that we have the only, as far as I know, in Kansas City, we have the only agent-owned mortgage company in Kansas City? I'm an owner. You will have an opportunity. You have to be an agent for a minimum of 2 years, but you'll have an opportunity to buy in ownership to the mortgage company. We've only been in business. It was a year in February. I already got a check in the end of February. Another way that you can make passive income. engagement, respond promptly to comments and messages. So while you're talking about real estate out there, anybody who makes a comment on your posts, I would DM them. I would like it, and then I would DM them, especially here in the beginning, and say, thank you so much. It means so much to me. Get your encouragement and support. You need to build that goodwill with people and let them know how much because people love being appreciated. It's kind of like an endorphin, right? It makes them feel like, oh, that was such a good feeling. I want to have that feeling again and again and again. So reinforce that local focus. That's what a lot of agents, that's where Kyle has done so well. His focus is on Kansas City and what's going on in Kansas City. Agents do what's coming up this weekend posts. Blake Nelson in our luxury department, just a door down from Loans and KC. And if you haven't been over to Loans and KC, go over there and introduce yourself. Go over there. Bob and or Elise will start coming to Wednesday Night Warriors once a month, but you need to get over there, introduce yourself. You need to introduce yourself to the ladies at Platinum Title. Don't wait until you have clients. Build those relationships now. But think about if you have a passion. Okay, so Jeffrey, what types of, are there any types of events or anything on the interests that you like coming to town?
I go to Comic-Con in the spring and I go to Renfest in the fall, except I didn't go this year.
You still have time. I'm going, not this weekend, next weekend, and I have a fairy house there. Vote on 136.
What is it?
A fairy house. They have a fairy house competition at
What's the best?
Renaissance Festival.
Renaissance. Yeah.
I love it. I dress up. You dress up? Okay. Have fun there. And oh, you know what I do? You still have time to go. Take pictures of some of those houses and say, and just have fun with it and say, hey, this could be for sale maybe. Did you see my video on the closed office page while I was gone? No, go. The Hobbit House. So I went to Hobbiton in New Zealand and I said, new on the market. Because David Conderman said, I want you to do a house tour of one of the Hobbit houses and what have you. I said, okay, I will. Well, they don't let you really. I had to make the videos and the pictures around other people. Get them, I'd be like, get out of the room, I gotta make a video. But I did new to the market and had fun. So you could do like Renaissance neighborhood in Bonner Springs. I don't know, have fun with it. When you go to Comic-Con, I had a new agent that she actually, is it the Comic-Con out of town or the one here?
Here,
Here?
Planet Comic-Con.
So she got like a table or a booth, and she had like over 500 people sign up. She did a little giveaway. She was in costume and everything. And she did a lot of video and what have you on her social media about her being there and all the people that she met and everything and had fun with it. So because that's your thing, fly with it. I don't want you all to think like you have to be like somebody else. Please don't. Please don't. User-generated content, that's encouraged satisfied clients. There's nothing better than a satisfaction survey being filled out. We as a company, as an office, when you close on a transaction, we send through a company called Real Satisfied a survey to your clients to fill out, and you get to use that information. And if they give you a great testimonial, you have to tell them that you want them to do this, educate them and prompt them to do this. Otherwise, you're just hoping they'll do it. And that, it's one thing for us to say we're good, we're great, I'm awesome. It's another when other people say that about you. It's more impactful. Ram Lakareddy, an agent here, he's a lot of times sitting in the office next to me. Ram is Indian, and to get his foot in the door in the Indian community, first he went to every Indian event and had a table or a booth. And then once he started getting business, he made sure he gets more testimonials and longer testimonials than any other agent in this office, because I get copied on all of them, because he's purposeful about asking for them. He's even gone to people's houses when they haven't filled it out. Said, "Oh, let's open up that computer." But that word of mouth in his community has been so important. And did you know you can use testimonials from people that you already know? Like in LinkedIn, you see testimonials from people you used to work with. What would it look like if someone speaks to your work ethic or what have you? It doesn't have to be tied to real estate yet when you're new. Does that make sense? You don't have to feel like, I'm new, I don't have any testimonials. Yes, you do. You have people you've worked with, you've had successes in the past, that those skills are so transportable to real estate. Paid advertising, if you can afford it. Facebook's not too expensive. Instagram, you don't have to do that yet though, but you can. But do your research first, learn about it before you spend the money, even though it's not a lot of money. Okay, let's talk about the systems in our last remaining time. There are, in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, there are 3 major ways of touching people. They all have a different strategy. There's an 8x8, there's 36 touch, and there's a 12 direct. The 8x8 is 8 touches over 8 weeks for new contacts to establish immediate mind share. I would, when this book was written, it was 8x8 over 8 weeks. I would shrink that down to 8 touches in 2 weeks, because our world and our rate of communication has changed. So I would do 8 touches in 10 to 14 days with any new leads or contacts you have. That means meeting someone in an open house or networking or door knocking or whatever, you put them on there. The 36 touch is 3 touches a month should be your minimum for your entire database. You're not going to get mind share. You're not going to change their perception of you unless you do a minimum of 3. So I didn't know about the 36 touch, but I did it. I did more than that as an agent. So everyone in my database got 3 emails from me a month, 3 different emails. They got this didn't happen right away. I had to rely on email more in the beginning when I didn't have a lot of money. And then I got to where I could afford to send out a monthly newsletter. At first, like I said, I mailed out about 50 pieces a month when I was new. That was a newsletter that was free to me. And the office, we have a monthly newsletter in our 36 touch. And then on birthdays, I'm big on birthdays. You guys will get birthday cards from me if I have your correct mailing address, because I just got a bunch of them back. Holidays, I'm big on holidays. Matter of fact, if you don't know, I built my barn just so I could store my holiday decorations. So I haven't put up Halloween yet, and I go to town. I think Halloween's almost outpacing Christmas now, because I keep buying skeletons. But that's my thing. So I would do pop buys. If you're not familiar with pop buys are, it's just a little something you take to clients or people in your database. So I would do Halloween pop buys to past clients. I would do Valentine's. I would do a yearly calendar, print calendar. That was expensive. That was probably my big marketing. I wouldn't do that anymore because people don't use on the wall calendars like they used to. And I would do a New Year's card. And then if they were a past client, they also got a house anniversary card from me on the anniversary of when we purchased their house. So that was way over 36 touches. And I did one client event. I wouldn't do just one, because I did one big one, have like 200 people over to my house, and every year I thought it was going to kill me. a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I'd break them down, do easier things, smaller things. The 12 direct is 12 annual direct mail pieces or emails for prospects you haven't met or agent referral sources. For me, okay, so it's not unusual to get some leads in an open house. And then I follow up. Do you know how fast do you think you should follow up with a lead from an open house? Same day. Same day. Well, because they're gonna go to more than one open house, Elena. And the other agent might be faster at getting back to, that's how I won people. I would literally get back to people that fast and they said, well, I met an agent. They said they'd put me on an MLS search, but I haven't heard from them. I said, I can do it in 5 minutes.
So when they say that, what's the etiquette? Like, I mean, obviously they have some sort of a buyer.
No, they said they just met another agent and they said they put him on home search.
And a lot of times, like for training, once someone comes in and wants to do a free session, or kind of like an open house, it's kind of like a free session.
Uh-huh.
And if you wait 1 or 2 days, their mind is not fresh from that experience.
Yeah.
And they're excited
That's
for the,
picky.
for that first 24 hours, that's when they're the most excited. And if you wait a couple days, like that day, that night, they might have talked to their husband and no one emailed them, no one texted them. And then you're like, oh, I guess I'm not, maybe homeownership isn't for me. And then they already have those doubts coming in, and that next day, if you email them, those doubts are there, so it's gone.
The excitement level, it's like the energy's here, and the longer you take to respond to them, it lowers. You're spot on, Wyatt. Thank you for sharing that. And another agent could have stepped right in and been faster than you. I'm like, when I hear, oh yeah, I'm gonna write a note to, well, I did. I would, if I got your email or your phone number, if I wasn't busy, if my open house had a little lag, I'd just be sending you a little text message and said, it's so great to meet you. I'm going to be sending you some information on whatever we talked about. If it was kitchens with big, kitchen islands, I'm gonna go on MLS and find something. Even if I have this much information that you gave me, I'm just gonna go proactive and tease you with something. And I said, I'll get back to you. But I would touch immediately as soon as possible to stay in that vibe.
So if they have an agent,
Then if they say they are working with an agent, here's the question I ask. Have they written any offers for you? I know this is a competitive market. Because at an open house, I don't say, are you working with an agent? I say, have you been looking very long?
I'm like getting into the homes. Then they told me.
And say, oh, and so you are working with an agent, because if you say, have you signed a buyer's agency contract? We're talking lingo they don't understand. They don't know what they sign. But if they've done offers for them, then most likely they do. And so we do not poach. It's against licensed law. It's not cool. You'll get yourself in trouble, all of that. So we respect that.
Can you even give your card?
Yeah, you can give your card and just say, if you or your agents have any questions, reach out. You know what I say? I ask them, who's your agent? Because there's a good chance I know them. And that's true.
Yeah.
And I say, I'll let them know you stopped by. And I did. And that agent would be so grateful because here's what you don't know. Your buyers will go shopping without you. You think they don't. They can't help themselves.
Busy.
Yeah, that's the most fun. My agent can't show me this house, can you? And you're like, oh my God. The 12 direct is what I put leads on. First, I put them on the 8x8. And if they do not respond to me in those 8 touches, even if we had a good interaction, because sometimes you can really connect with somebody and think, oh God, this is great. This is great. They're going to be my new client. They do not respond in those 8 touches. Then I'm going to put them on a 12 direct. I never throw away a lead, ever, ever, ever. Unless you tell me to go away, which legally we then have to go away, or you're working with another agent. I know it's probably just all about timing. Actually do that with recruits. I have over a list of 3,000 names of people that I've talked to over the years. And I periodically reach out to them to see if now might be their time with real estate. I don't know. And do you know that there are people in our program right now that I talked to for 3 years before they joined? Because timing just wasn't there at that time, but the money wasn't. Make sense? So that 36 touch, like you were asking, Jamie, you were asking, can you put people on? Well, what we do with the office one is we will put your people on there, but we have to put them on at the beginning of a month. Okay? But any of the ones that you get from Command or Create Yourself, you can put them on at any time. Ours is timed towards a specific event, the giveaway. And so if you don't put it, that's why we have to start it at each month, so that you're at the right increments with them, so that they know they're gonna be entering in a timely manner, right? But get people on there and talk to me or your coach about getting on the Office 36 Touch, and we'll get you on there, or at least have you in the queue so that they'll get the information from you to be able to do that. Your job is to get everybody's contact information, but don't wait to get everybody's. Just start with what you have. I find too many people put off their marketing because, well, my database is not done. It will never be done. It should never be done. Tomorrow somebody moves. Tomorrow somebody gets divorced. Tomorrow somebody dies. Unfortunately. Okay? But you have to have the systematic to have the effect. So, understanding the numbers, we're going to end on this because this is why this is important. You've got to understand your conversion ratios. And some of you aren't thinking like business owners yet. I get it. You're just hoping to survive your first year. But that's where we know that there's a ratio of closings, meaning for this many people, you should get this many closings. Now it depends on the market. It used to be like a 12-2, like it says here. For every 12 people in your database, you should get 2 pieces of business, or you should get a referral from them. The market has been harder. Our turnover rate, meaning the percentage of people who buy and sell homes, traditionally has been anywhere from 10 to 14% in the United States. Last couple of years, it's been 4 or 5%. So it means fewer of the people that you know have been buying and selling. Make sense? And so this 12-2, you got to make it higher, because fewer people are moving right now because economy and interest rates and prices. And that's people you know. Of people you don't know, it's a 50-1. So if you're doing open houses, you're going to talk to at least 50 people to have an opportunity of potential business. Now, it can also be 100-1, depending, I say it's 50-100, depending on the type of activity you're doing. Like farming, to me, that's 100-1. Open house is more 50-1. Does that make sense? So you can calculate your own database. Take a picture of this if you can. I'll see if I can. And calculate your own. How many people do you have in your database? And when you do your business planning, it's going to do this for you. But this kind of gives you an idea of, if you want this many deals, this is what you would have to do. And this is how many people you need in your database. This is how many people you have to go meet of haven't met. Haven't mets are people that you don't know yet, that you hope to get in relationship with. Door knocking, networking, open houses, that type of thing. I'm going to stop right there. Finish reading your booklet. There's more in those. Did you learn something today? Are you going to go do something today? Because just like Wyatt said, if you put off your actions from what you learn, then there's a likelihood you won't even do it. They say you should do it within the next 48 to 72 hours. Take action. I think it's 24. That takes some action for it. Something.
Sometimes active.
Yeah. Okay, I hope you all go to Katie's class. I'm going to go over there. This is the SEO and blogging class, even if you're not even sure what any of that means, start exposing yourself. Okay, not exposing yourself, exposing your mind to them. I hesitated on that. I said that and I was like, oh my. Okay, Alice, I saw that you had your hand up and I didn't get to you. I am so sorry. I'm gonna look at questions here.
All is well. I think you've answered some of my
You
questions
need to do a
that came up
shout
over the
out when
course.
that happens.
So I'm gonna go begin real quick and then see if we can reschedule. You can see what you rescheduled last. Last.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
Okay, bye you guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Like that
Yeah.
action.
Kristen,
Yes, Jeffrey.
Your
Bill, I